Hey guys, it's Jaylon. Welcome back. I'm here today to share with you my update for Size Matters. This is a Pan That Palette theme for the Pantastic Ladies Collab Facebook group, and the theme was created by Jessica Lee. The theme was basically, you can interpret it however you wanted. I went with a small palette that is bulky, and it is the Shade and Light Eye Contour Quad in Rust by Kat Von D. I pretty much decided to Franken this palette completely. I did use one shade, which was this one here, pretty much to completion, except for like at the very end, I frankened this shade and then this shade, this like base and highlight. But at this point, everything is a frankened shadow. Last month, I was working on 7 shadows, and I talked about how I may franken a couple more, which I did. I'll show you those 2 shades here in a minute. But I am happy to say I did finish one of my Frankens. So I want to show you the empty pan. Here it is. It's got some residue, but it's all done. Everything in here is finished. I'm so excited. One of these are done. Yay! So let me first show you the palette. So here's the palette. And then here's the inside of the palette. Now I mentioned I did Franken 2 new shadows. So these 2 do look a bit more like there's less shadow in here because I did use both of those shadows to Franken 2 new shades. I'll try to show a picture of what it looked like last month based on a screenshot. So yeah, we're using this up. Very excited. Now let me share the Frankens that I was working on previously and how they're looking now. There's 6 from the previous month. And I'm just going to show you what I've got. Now, this one I think is close. There's 2 that are pretty close. I feel like these are the closest to finishing. We have this one here. This is like my first or like second crease transition shade. And I really do like this one a lot. It's almost one that I use on a daily basis. I am wearing this one today. Yeah, and it's thin in the pan. It's pretty easy to pick up. So I did expand the pan in this one quite a bit, especially here on this side. So yeah, it's looking good. The next one I have is this one was one of the OG for sure. And this one's pretty crumbly. I have expanded the pan on this one quite a bit as well. It's gotten to the point now where I kind of have to, it's a pretty stiff shadow, so I have to use my fingernail to grab some of the shadow to actually apply it to my crease. But yeah, there we go. There's the shade. It's a nice shade. It's great for fall actually. And I do like this shade a lot, especially with green eyeshadow. It's really, really pretty. And then this one is really close to being finished. I think this was also one of the OG shades. It's this one here. You can see there. It's really close to being done. Actually, now that I take that back, this was not an OG shade, but it was like the second round of frankening. It's really close. I do have this one in the very outer corner of my lid to deepen the outer corner. It's really nice. I don't know if I'll have this done by the next update, but it may be close. It may be close. I'll also be sharing with you my update for my Baby Panda palette. I always forget to mention that. Okay, next up. Now this one I don't think I have as much progress on. I think I did expand the pan just a little bit. But this one I don't use as much. Another one where I have to kind of flick a little bit of the shadow to be able to get a good amount of pigment to use. But it's a really pretty shade. And this one here is probably like the fourth round of Frankening that I did. It's more of a neutral purple shade. This one, I dropped my palette, my magnetic palette, and so this one shattered a little bit. So that's why there's not as much shadow in here. But there's that shade there. I really do like this one a lot. Okay, now moving on to the two newer Frankens that I created right after my update last month. So the first one, these are both shimmers. So first time I created shimmers. This one is more of a neutral shimmer. And I actually used that rust shade to create this. And I used my Lorac Shine Bright palette to create these Frankens. And funny enough, I used this shade Icicle mixed with that rust shade. And I think I mixed in vanilla here. And that may be it. So yeah, it was crazy. I was really surprised that this is what I got. Crazy. I haven't really used this very much, but I'm thinking whenever I finish my eyeshadow stick, I may use this as a base for eyeshadows. Like before I use an eyeshadow primer. Yeah, there we go. So there's that shade. And then the next one I created was this one. A nice green shimmer. And I think I used that brown shade in the palette. And this green shimmer spruce. A little bit of Icicle, I think, and then I think that may have been it out of this one to create this shade. And I think I've used each of these like once or twice, and that's it. These are more crumbly, so they're going to go faster than the other ones I've been working on. So anyway, those are the Frankens that I have. Fun. I mean, like I said, I mentioned this throughout this project, but I've had fun like playing chemist with these. Did I just get eyeshadow on my nose? I've had fun playing chemist with Frankening. It's been fun. So anyway, those are the shadows I'm working on in my Pan That palette. I would say that like whatever's left, I'm probably not going to finish. Like I feel like whenever this project is done, it's done at the end of the year, and I will call this palette done and feel like I've gotten good use out of it. I mean, come on, like I wouldn't have used this palette otherwise, and I've Franken like, 8 or 9 shadows, and I've had fun playing with it. It's been good. Okay, so now let me show you how I'm doing with my Baby Pan That palette. This palette I've been working on for 3 years now. A long time. So I am going to clean this up like I normally would with a wipe. I'm taking it on the back of my vitamin rich face base, and I'm going to place it on top of the palette and just go back and forth. And there we go. We have a nice clean palette. I love that trick. Okay, so the palette that I'm working on it's a little duo by MAC. This is the Extra Dimension Eyeshadow Duo, and it's got 2 shades, Just Gleaming and Snow Dusk. So this one is Just Gleaming and this one is Snow Dusk. I think it's funny because the new like holiday collection by MAC, this looks very similar to the one that they're releasing this year. Interesting. Anyway, so here is how this one is looking, and I'll throw a picture over here of how this palette looked like last month. I know that this shade, Just Gleaming, is looking really different than it did last month. I feel like I've really expanded that waffle pan, and to the point where I almost feel like I need to repress the shadow, especially over on this side. Yeah, I'm feeling really good about this. There was one day I was traveling for work this week. I forgot to bring a highlighter with me, and I actually used this as a highlighter in the shade, and it was so pretty. Oh my gosh, it was so pretty. Now, this shade I may have used once. Like, I just don't use this shade very often. I'll go ahead and swatch these. There we go. There are those two shades. They're so pretty. Anyway, that's my update for my baby Panette palette. I'm super excited. I may, at some point this month, go ahead and repress Just Gleaming. I've never repressed into a waffle pan, so I don't know how that's going to go. We'll see. Anyway, that is my update for this project. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you are doing well and staying safe. Please hit that subscribe button, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.